What's up, sports freaks? Double R Ricky Rodriguez coming to you right now for All Sports Media Team presents Dubl Drbl, episode 35, the Neffretiti of the Nile. And yes, I was not the only one that came up with that title. We agreed on that title, did we not, Faatimah?
Yes, we did.
Awesome. All right. And there's a reason for that. And you guys will find out about why we came up with that super cool title. To my side, I got my partner, the Doc. Doc is in the house. What's going on, Doc?
Hey, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Neffretiti of the Nile. I love that.
Buddy, right? We got her a little like tiara. We could have sent to her in advance. That was awesome. So totally go buy one or something. Anywho, our guest today is coming to us all the way from the other side of the world over in Egypt, which is so freaking cool. We never talked to anybody in like another country. So it's super, super cool. Faatimah Amen Ra-a. I'm only going to say it once, I promise. And after that, you're Fati. I promise. I promise. All right. People mess up on my name all the time, my last name, and it drives me insane. So you're going to be Fati today if that's cool.
That's cool.
Sweet sauce. Fati has been in so many cool things, you guys. She's been in the WBA, which is the Women's Universal Basketball Association. She played for Texas A&M International. She's super cultured, which I think is cool. She's a champion. She played in the WBA, and now she's running part of WBA, which I will have to talk about in a little bit. She's done camps with kids, which I think is amazing because we love anybody who works with kids. And she's got to work alongside with a lot of NBA and WNBA stars. Not only that, she's got so many other super cool things. You're going to get to know her. Let's go ahead and get rolling with episode 35, the Neffretiti of the Nile, with Faatimah Amen Ra-a. All right, Fati, we start off usually with some background. If you could just shoot that our way, and then me and Doc will jump on that, and we'll bounce off of it throughout the day and have a good time and see where it goes. So go for it. The floor is yours.
So, I'm from Toronto originally, but my family, we moved out here to California when I was around 5. So I've grown up in the Bay like my entire life. Basketball has always been like a passion of mine. I think I picked up a ball for the first time when I was like 11. From then on, I don't know. I just fell in love with the game. Like my favorite player was Allen Iverson. I was like the first person I started watching. He was so dope. And I would find myself going to the park every day after school. You know, I had this best friend, her name was Tamara. She would teach me all these like street ball moves. Like I was doing crazy moves playing against guys in pickup at like 11. So I felt good doing that over at Diamond Park over in Oakland. And then, as time goes on, I'm blessed with the opportunity to, have amazing people in my life that, kind of help steer me in the right direction, mold me into the person that I am today. I had a very kind of intense point in my life during like middle school, after like September 11th. My mother, along with my siblings and we were homeless. So we were living in a shelter, and like, I didn't want anybody to know about that stuff. So, while I'm going to school at this charter school, no one knows I'm going, straight to school, then going straight back to the shelter, or going to, Lincoln Park over in Chinatown to play basketball. So during that time, I was really fortunate to have, some really good people in my corner, and, telling me that, I'm good at basketball. And if I continue to pursue this, that, the sky's the limit. High school came around, my family were able to move, and I was able to go and play at St. Joe's in Alameda. It's the school that Jason Kidd went to, which was pretty cool. That's kind of what sold me on it. But that didn't work out. But I was fortunate enough to have a very amazing coach and mentor, Ken Babers. He actually passed away my junior year, but during that time he was able to be that father figure that I needed during that time, and to just help me really just like work on my game, because other than that, all I was doing was playing pickup and street ball. I didn't really learn the fundamentals of basketball until I was with him and his family. College came around. Went to a couple JUCOs. I bounced around from schools a lot just because like I didn't feel like I was in like the right program. I didn't feel like my style of play fit, and obviously that reflected with like my playing time. But I get it. Like as I got older, when you're in it, you're just like, damn, why am I not playing? Like I want to play. This is something I love to do. But obviously, like when you get to that level, there's politics involved. People got to keep their jobs, so they got to put the best five on the floor, regardless of how you feel. So, I mean, I never let that, get me down. I was always the hardest working person in the gym. When summer came around, off season, I was in the gym. I was a gym rat. I was at any open gym. I was playing with the dudes. I was playing with the girls. Wherever I can get some open run in, I was there. So I ended up finishing out my undergrad over at Ryerson University in Toronto. You guys probably don't know that school, but Zion, when he was playing at Duke, when they went and did a tour over in Canada because of RJ Barrett, they were able to play Canadian schools over in the Toronto area. So my school has always been like a pretty good basketball school. Like the school, they've made it to nationals, they've won OUA championships, which has been pretty awesome. So, for them to get that opportunity and, be able to spotlight some players, which is really awesome. So after college finished up, I didn't really play. I didn't have those stats that I needed, but obviously, watching, loving basketball growing up, I wanted to do what Monica did. I wanted to go, I wanted to play overseas. Like I wanted to be a professional. So I worked my butt off that summer. I went to, some combines. I got to play against other top players that, were in the WNBA training camp that didn't make the roster, but I was able to, play against them and kind of like size myself up against them and other players that had played overseas. So I finally got my first opportunity to go and play in El Salvador. I was the second leading scorer. I was averaging like 30 points a game. But in those type of countries, like they'll tell you got to be able to really put numbers up and, put some stats up in order for you to move up and go to other countries. And it's always been a dream of mine to play in Europe. So, after that season, I was able to play in France. I got my foot in the door. Then I ended up going to Australia. Then from Australia, I met some really awesome people. My boss, who's actually the creator of the WBA, I was able to meet him at one of his tryouts. And then, he gave me opportunities here and there to prove myself and show that I'm like business savvy and that, I'm more than just a basketball player. I'm a businesswoman. So as time went on, I was able to do, international events when they had them in Spain or France or Germany. And from there, I got picked up to play in Norway, and I went to Greece, and then COVID hit. So everybody went back home.
Yeah.
But then on, I think that's when I was really able to dial in and really see the benefits that the WBA had to offer. So I took it upon myself, to help create the league, run it down here in Cali. And I think we were pretty successful. We had 4 teams, especially during COVID, like we were still able to produce something, not be stagnant while the world is obviously at a standstill. So with everything, to sum up, everything, I've been very blessed and fortunate to have, the certain people in my life and, go through certain experiences to help, build me into the person that I am today.
Yeah. And you know what, Vati, honestly, just from hearing that, I've been talking to you all week and Doc knows you, but just hearing that first couple sentences you talked about, I haven't told many people about this. I lived in a shelter. I did it. You're a very charitable person. We'll get to know that later in the interview. And you're also a very friendly person. And I just got that vibe like instantly, like, hey, I went through this. I don't want people to have to go through this. So I'm going to be there for them and help them. And if they do go through this, they can come and talk to me about it. And I could totally see that. I could hear it in your voice. I can feel it in the way you expressed, what you went through, And then the fact that you also mentioned, hey, I wanted to do this at one point, but it wasn't the time for basketball. And then you ended up meeting, what was it, your mentor, your coach. You never know. You never know what one path not working. I always say if one door slams, another one's opening, because you never know, So that's awesome. Also, you are a Canada girl. That's super cool. You're our first one, by the way. 35 episodes. You're our first one from Canada. That's super awesome. I've never been to the Toronto area. I've been to the west side of Canada. I would say, what is it? The British side of Canada, I guess. Vancouver. Yeah, I've been to Vancouver. So
It's
but
a
I
real
would,
like, alley vibe over there, though.
is it? Yeah,
It's
well,
super chill.
yeah, because you got all right. On Toronto, is it true that's like the party town of Canada, from what I've heard?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
record.
like,
Okay.
it, I I think Drake did a lot for the Toronto area. Like, he pretty much put them on the map. So, everything that you're hearing about them, yes, they're the party city. I know last year when they or the year before last year when the
Rap.
Raptors won the
Oh,
championship,
I
I know they were acting out. I had all my family text me.
bet.
I
Well, I
had my
bet.
mates.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet it must have been crazy. What is honestly, from the fact that you went from Toronto into the States, can you give me some possible differences and similarities? It doesn't even have to be basketball, just in general, that you noticed.
I honestly, okay, so I went back to school. When you're a kid, you don't really like notice anything. You're just like, you're going through the motions, you're having fun, you're with your
Yeah.
family, you're just chilling. But I think I really experienced like a culture shock when I went back for school.
Okay.
So I know one thing, school wise, they are very, they put a very strong emphasis on academics. So you could be a student athlete, but student comes first.
Yeah.
I had everything I learned in America about like memorization, I had to throw that out the window. They want you to be more applicable. They want you to be able to, if you're in a situation, how does what you learned apply to the situation and how can you learn from it?
And we need that down here so bad. I used to work in schools for 8 years. Oh my God. We need a class called Common Sense. Like, right?
So everything I learned, I threw it out the window and I had to like my study habits, I had to, reteach myself. Because at one point, like especially when I was like going through depression, like I almost flunked out of school. So I had to really be more mindful and not be so harsh on myself, but realize that I'm a person, I'm going to make mistakes.
Mhm.
How am I going to learn from it? How am I going to bounce back?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I was taking a lot of public transportation when I was, in school. They don't have any respect for personal space on the train and the tube. So I'm just like, I don't know. Those are like the only things that irked me.
Okay.
Obviously in the winter, no one really likes the cold. So, in Cali, you could
Not down here.
Hey, how are you? Over there, they'll look at you and they'll just keep it moving. So I'm just like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. Anything under 60, we're like this. Like right now, I'm in my light sweater and I'm cold,
I got here, it's about 60. Everyone's, chilling in shorts. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, where's my hoodie? I'm like, I need a heater.
Right. Which is funny because you came from Canada. It's like you're trying to adapt. You're in that Cali mode and you go back to see family.
I blame it on my anemia.
Yeah, that's so funny. What part of just off the subject? What part of Egypt are you in right now?
I'm over in Cairo, I believe.
Awesome.
Yes.
I am a huge history buff. I am so jealous of you right now. It's ridiculous of all these amazing places that you've got to go and play.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start with these.
Egypt is by far. I was able to stay over in Giza, and the house, the Airbnb that I was staying at, it was so weird. The guy, he actually is from the Bay Area, so we hit it off.
Wow.
That's so cool.
I went up on the roof for breakfast the next morning, and the pyramids are right there, right behind me.
All right, stop it. Now you're just.
I swear to God, it was
now
so
you're
beautiful.
just rubbing it
I
in,
had to take
Faatimah.
a
Come
moment.
on.
It was
That's so
amazing.
beautiful.
Oh my God.
Wow. I bet like when you were young and you guys were staying in the shelter and everything, you probably never dreamed that you would be experiencing things like that. And I think that that's so cool. The one thing that I was kind of like thinking and wondering when you were talking about that was basketball kind of like your constant in like a world where you kind of had like a lot of variables and a lot of instability. It seems like maybe that was like part of your identity and part of like what was constant and what was like within your control.
That was definitely something that kept me going, because like obviously I majored in psychology, and when people are put in helpless situations or situations they feel that they can't get out of, obviously they get down on themselves. But I was able to see that I can use this and, you know, build a life for myself that I've always wanted. I don't need to be a product of my environment. There's always a different, you know, outlet. And it just really, it really takes a lot of, you know, mental strength and, you know, believing in yourself. And I know I did like a little interview with like Voyage LA, but just deserving that, like just believing that you're deserving of an opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing. Cause I know we like to self-doubt. It's inevitable. It happens all the time, but you know, you're your biggest supporter. So if you believe in you, then the sky's the limit.
Wow.
Yes,
It's so true,
exactly.
especially if you're struggling like the way your family was. It's like that's when everybody drops into depression. That's when everybody starts giving up on themselves, you know. And the
Yeah.
fact, I love the fact that you just put that out there right now, and this is going to go to people all over the world. And you know, just that little remark right there might have just changed a life, Fati. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. Speaking of changing lives, okay, you work with kiddos. I worked with kiddos for 15 years, give or take. I worked at Disneyland. I worked at Knott's. I worked at schools, after school programs. I work at Angel Stadium. Like, I work with kiddos. It's an adventure, but it is a fun ride, isn't it? It is so much fun.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your camps.
I love kids. They're like little adults. Like I really enjoy just talking to them and seeing like what they think about certain subjects. Like we can have a debate with a kid and it's probably the funnest thing ever just because like I'm able to kind of learn about them. Like, but to go back to the camps, it's so funny because it kind of came around full circle. So when I was in a shelter, you know, obviously during Christmas time, you don't really have the funds to do anything. So the Golden State Warriors camps department, they decided to do like some sort of a scholarship program. And they took, you know, 20 kids from the shelter and brought them to camp that week. And for a week, I wasn't a homeless kid. Like I wasn't a kid in this like weird predicament. I was a regular kid. I was a basketball player. I was there to have fun and just play basketball. And I was able to just like be myself. And it was so crazy because like I got MVP of the camp, the first one we went to, and the second one that they, you know, gave us the opportunity to go to, you know, I ended up getting camper of the week. So it's just like I was able to build relationships, especially with the first coach that I had there. He's still working for the Warriors now. So when my friend, you know, messaged me about, you know, possibly working for them, I was like, heck yeah, like when can I go in? Can I do this interview? I ended up meeting, you know, the same people that were, you know, doing the camp when I was 12. They're there when I'm 24, 23, getting ready to get interviewed. And it was just so beautiful. So that first week I was there, you know, I did a camp for a week. And then as time goes on, they're trusting me to, you know, do camps the whole summer. And then I get to do like their players camp. So I did camps for Draymond Green. I done camps for Sean Livingston, Zaza Pachulia, who else? Matt Barnes, Steph Curry. Like it's an amazing experience. And I love the fact that, you know, I like to be as invested as possible in my community. So all those girls or all those kids that I see in the programs, like I'm able to see them at AAU tournaments because I'm officiating, or I'm helping out their AAU program because I'm connected with their coach and I'm getting to build that one-on-one relationship and, you know, just try and help, you know, create better humans. Cause like with society, the way it is now, people, it's so easy to get lost. So if you're able to kind of help them think for themselves as well as be empathetic and genuine, I think that's really important in their development.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. And just from what I know about you, I know like what a hard worker you are and how like on top of things and organized you are just from the little bit that I've experienced. I know, Ricky, you said I know her, but I really don't know her very well. Like I've just played with her before and we've had some conversations, but like I didn't know any of the stuff that she talked about today. And so I'm really happy that I was able to get to know her a little bit better. But what I do know about her is that she's brilliant and she is determined and hardworking. And I don't think that there's any limits to anything that you can do. I feel like whatever it is that you want to do, like you're just going to do it. Like you're just going to do it. Like there's not going to be any wishing or hoping or whatever. It's just, you're just going to do it. That's it.
I really appreciate that. I think I learned at an early age. Even when like I was in a shelter, like my mom didn't really have, there was 4 of us, my siblings. She didn't really have like enough money for, me to, get clothing and stuff like that. But with me going to like a charter school, I was able to wear a uniform. But if I wanted extra things, I ended up like working at the flea market in a food truck when I was like 11 till like 15, so that I can like buy myself the Dub Zeros. Like that was my first pair of Jordans I ever bought. Buy myself clothes, like.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I'm like, no, that stuff doesn't matter. Like I can be simple. It's about what's on the inside and how you impact others around you. So
absolutely. I think honestly, from hearing this story, I can see that you went through, God had a plan. I always say God has his reasons. I have a tattoo. It says smile now, cry later, faces. God has his reasons. Because you went through what you went through for a reason. You're running these camps with these kids. You're with all these different women every single day that are going through all aspects of life. And you're there. You're like, hey, I went through this, or hey, I can help you with this, or and you have a psychology degree. I mean, come on. Like you people watch. I went for psychology for a while too, but you people watch. That's what we do. And you can just read people.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite things to do. So I'm just
right?
like,
right? And then people look at you like, what are you staring at?
I just monitor.
right? Seriously, all the time. On another note, though, I did mention that I worked at a school and you doing camps. You mentioned that you get an emotional attachment to these kids in some which way or another. I've mentioned on numerous shows about this girl that I had. She was 12 years old, 6th grade going into 7th. She discovered that she was lesbian. Her family found out about it. They wanted to throw her out. She became suicidal. I haven't heard from her in about 4 years, but I was always there to talk to her. My question to you though is, what is the toughest thing you saw or heard from one of the kids at the camp that you can talk about? And what is the funnest thing that you've done or heard at the camps that you were at?
Well, I'd like to think that like all the kids that I mentor, I'm like very close with. I know one of them that I work with has an autoimmune disease, and they get down on themselves quite often, because obviously it's inevitable, especially when you're growing up. You don't know how to cope or manage with these things because you're still learning about your body and all these things.
Of course.
But sorry?
No, I said, of course, keep going.
Yeah. But I think that if you let them know that they have someone that they can confide in, because obviously you're not always going to be able to talk to your parents about certain things, or you're not going to be able to talk to your best friend about certain things, because it's easier to talk to someone that, not that you don't have a relationship with, but like someone that kind of is around your, like a little bit older, but not too much older than your age range, but someone that's understanding. So with them being able to, let me know how they're feeling, I'm able to check in with them and just see how they're doing. But they're a fighter, and I love them with all my heart. And I'm incredibly proud of, everything that they've accomplished. And I know the sky's the limit. It just takes time. And, as time goes on, you'll be better with managing things. But I think I think the happiest moment, there's another girl that I work with when she was in 5th grade. Like she was, people, they're mechanics, their hand-eye coordination, obviously they're still developing, so it's not all the way there. But like, 5th grade, I've been working with her since she was there. She's in 9th grade now. She's a beast. She's going to be really, really nice. But just hearing that, like, I was there when she got to play MIDI during a tournament. And MIDI's like one of the top, women's basketball programs out here. And she's going into 9th grade, and she's, the highest scorer on her team against MIDI. So, we have talks, here and there, and she just thanks me, but I'm just like, you put in this work. So, you know what? Thank yourself. I'm just here. I'm just happy that you're allowing me to help you.
Absolutely. And
that's awesome.
Do you have that mama bear moment at that time?
I was
I've had those Papa Bear moments at the school. That's why I'm asking.
I do, but I'm like, and they get big headed, and I'm like, all right, we can go get this one-on-one game after. So I'm like, calm down.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have one more camp question. Working with all these different NBA superstars, what was the most important thing that you picked up from any one of them? You don't have to tell us who it was unless you want to. What did you pick up, and do you still use that to today?
I wouldn't say generally from one. I would just like to credit the Golden State Warriors organization on really giving back to their community, because like, there's not a lot of programs that go out there or interact with kids as much. And I know that, it's a life-changing moment when you get to see your favorite player and you get to talk to them, or you get to take a picture with them, or you get to shoot with them. Like, I'm not even a camper, and I got to demonstrate with Steph, and I was shooting, and he just passed me the ball. I felt like $1,000,000. Like, I felt so nice. So I'm just like, I can only imagine how they feel when they get to interact with those players. So yeah, just big ups to the Golden State Warriors organization. They do a phenomenal job.
All right, shout out to @Golden State Warriors. There you go. A big shout out for them. I want to go from talking about camps a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about culture. You went to all these different amazing, awesome countries, which I'm still jealous of you about. What is some of the cool cultures that you've picked up on?
Honestly, well, I was brought up Muslim, so being able to, come to Egypt, my family, my parents, they gave my brothers and my sisters and I like Egyptian names. So, or names. So, hi.
I got four here, so it's all good.
Oh yeah, you gotta speak just one. But being able to, kind of just be in it and learn more about this culture and pick up on the language. Like, I got my yastas, my bros, that they call them. It's the Arabic name for broskies or whatever over here. My teammates, they're teaching me Arabic. We have a little Arabic lesson every now and then. My teammate Habiba, we have a bet, we have a deal. I teach her some English, she teaches me some Arabic. So yeah, I think just being able to experience it all, see the pyramids, like, you see books on this. It's rare that people get to come here and experience this in its full essence. So I'm just very appreciative for the opportunity to be here and to be able to play the game that I love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also love France.
That is so cool.
I love France.
Just in general, France?
What do you like about France?
Their basketball culture, like, it's phenomenal. Like, they love basketball out there. And, the club that I was with, I was able to, coach the under 18 and under 15 teams. So I was able to, connect with them on a deeper level, despite the language barrier. Like, I was able to, communicate with them as best as possible. But like, at the end of the day, we were still able to be on the same page when it came to basketball stuff. So
yeah, definitely.
I miss them over there. I miss them a lot. I still message them from time to time, or they check in with me, which is awesome. I got to work on my French. It's terrible. They laugh all the time when I do something, but I promised them I would work on it. So
just to be able to have that opportunity to be like, I have to work on this language because I am here immersed in this culture. Like, it's the best.
Yeah. Ugh, I got to download Duolingo. I got to.
So freaking cool.
So funny. So what are your what can you say in Arabic now?
Oh, I'm gonna hear this. Here it is.
Oh, assalamu alaikum, shukran. They're gonna laugh at me, but good night is tasbahi ala khair. What else can I say?
Good to know.
My coach likes speaking for like 10 minutes in Arabic, and then he'll be like, "We're going over defensive tactics. You understand?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." And then he'll go back to speaking Arabic for like 5 more minutes. And I'm just like,
just want to make sure.
that means yes. But yeah, and inshallah. So that's good. I'm working on it. I'm getting better at my pronunciation.
Good. That's awesome. I actually, I had a boyfriend that spoke Arabic when I was like 19. And so I did like this Egyptian Arabic. He was Lebanese, but the only thing I could find at that time was like this Egyptian Arabic course. So
yeah,
I taught myself how to write and read a little bit and speak just a little, but I don't ever have anybody to to practice
You
with
gotta
now.
come here.
There you go.
I think it's so beautiful. This language is so poetic. Like
Yeah.
when you hear the translation of something, I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, I feel
you
like
guys
that's
put a lot of
all
thought into
languages except for English.
it. Except for
Right?
English.
Well, at least American English, at least the British sound like
Yeah.
that. Even when they're yelling at you. You know?
Yeah.
So freaking true. It's hilarious. Or Australian, they always sound like they're laid back and like always in a great mood, and they can be cussing you out, you know, and it's so funny.
Their cussing out is like a term of endearment. And then they'll be like, all right, so listen, my accent is terrible, but they'll just be like, all right, mate, let's go.
Seriously. Besides the pyramids, what is like your favorite thing to do out in Egypt?
Oh man.
Party scene or like anything super cool out there?
No,
you should visit if
not
they
eat the food.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just eating like chicken and rice, but I think my favorite will probably have to be like meditating. I'm still waiting on my trip to go inside of like one of the tombs and like meditate in one of the areas there. The guy that I spoke with, that I met up with, that's from the Bay Area. His family, I guess they own like one of the biggest like papyrus farms out here, and they have one of the oldest like Jesus, what is it called? They have like one of the oldest warehouses, I'm assuming, that, you know, sell essential oils and like meditation stuff for like the 7 chakras. They had Muhammad Ali come back in the 80s and open up for them.
Oh, cool.
So he was the person that opened up their warehouse, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So just being around that energy, being around that vibe, there's obviously a lot of history in it. And, you know, just being able to meditate and kind of like reach a new level of consciousness. Like I'm super big on mindfulness. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Really
I love
cool.
that there's so much culture. Even just by walking, you don't have to say anything to anybody. You just walking in Egypt, there's oh my God, there's culture freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Or even France, same thing. It's like it's ridiculous.
Well, that probably is what makes you an even better athlete, because when I was watching you play, like that last time that you came, we were like, that first game was just kind of like a fun game.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty slow. And when I was just like watching you play, and it's like your mind is almost like you see things in slow motion. It's like the weirdest thing. I was watching
like, you. Like slowed down. And I think it's obviously having to do with like calming your energy and just taking a deep breath. I know like when we play as athletes, like when we're getting started, we always have these high expectations for ourselves instead of just letting the game just come to us. So that's kind of what I'm on now, just letting it come to me.
No, and I loved it. And I loved and I can feel that from you. And that takes that, to be able to control your nervous system in that way, and to meditate and to reach that higher level of consciousness. Like that's basically what I do with my athletes to get them to get their game to the next level. Like I teach them all of that, and I show them how to incorporate that in their breathing and in their bodies and their muscles and all of that, like neuromuscular re-education and controlling your nervous system. So I saw that in you, and I was like, how cool. Loved that.
I think that's so awesome and so important. I know that with me being, you know, in Canada, I know the US wasn't really big on sports psych up until like recently, but I know Kobe was huge on that, and that's what separated him from a lot of other athletes. So I mean, that stuff works, and if you're able to put yourself in a place where you know you can turn it on, you know, when game time comes, it's a very hard skill, but if you can master that, that's beautiful, because it can go in all areas of your life. And, you know, that's when you're able to manifest whatever you want.
Exactly.
And I can tell by your vibe that you do carry that over from whatever culture it was, or that you carry that over to where you are now, you know, or to the camps, to the WBA, which we're going to jump into in just a second, you know. And it's crazy, you know, you being the psych person, and people watch, and we were like, wow, why do they do what they do, you know? But then you pick up on it, And if it's an opponent, even better. You pick up on if it's your teammate or even just, someone walking down the street, you're just like, okay, why are they doing this? Okay, I get it. Maybe I should try it, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do that. That dude's crazy. But you carry that over and teach that to your kids and teach that to your teams and stuff like that. I think that's freaking awesome. And one more country question, and then we'll get into the WBA. You played for like a zillion different countries. Again, I'm jealous. If you had to pick one more country to go play for, what would it be and why? That you haven't played for yet.
That I haven't been yet. Probably Spain.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just talking to a friend of mine today, Lucy. I've been telling anyone who asks me, hey, where do you want to end your career? I always tell them I want to, finish playing in France. I want to just end my career in France. But, Spain's right there. I would love to go to Spain. My Spanish is a lot better than all the other languages I'm trying to
right? Yeah, they're like diehard Spanish over there. They don't mess around with Spain.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Hey, FIBA World Cup champions last time they played the World Cup. So hey, why not? And they made the Dubl Brothers and a couple other big names. So I'm excited for the Olympics coming. We get to see them again. All righty. We talked college. We talked camps. Let's find out what this WUBA is. Doc knows what it is. I'm learning what it is. Let's teach the world, Fati. All right. What the heck is the WUBA?
All right. The WBA, the Women's Universal Basketball Association, is a professional league, pretty much creating a platform for women to, stay in shape or to build on, their resume, or for people that don't have the opportunity or haven't had the opportunity like myself. When I first came out of college, this is helping them, build professional experience because the league's FIBA certified. So everything goes on Eurobasket, which is the global database for all things basketball. Whether it's EuroLeague, Euro Cup, NBA, WNBA, collegiate, whatever it is, it all goes on there. So, we're just creating that platform for the women out here. I know, with time, things will get better and, they'll get, more recognition that they need. But with this happening now, especially during COVID, this helps, give us all something to look forward to because, COVID, it took a lot of our light. I would like to say it took our light. So we, being able to do something that you love, it gave you something, again, worthwhile to continue to push for and just be happy about.
Okay, cool.
And it's awesome because it's really needed. And, this kind of like revolution or movement or shift, probably more like a shift that started with Kobe. And then when he passed, it was like, okay, well, we're going to continue this, but there really wasn't like that head cheerleader to be able to just like push it forward. So this is really cool.
And it's
and
actually,
boss, he's a huge, I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
My boss, he's like a huge fan of Kobe. Like he's definitely, one of his mentors, and he has a daughter himself. So, he's a huge advocate for women's sports. So, during 2010, 2016, he started that back then, and they were partnered with the Atlanta Dream. And, he ended up doing his overseas stuff, but now obviously he saw a need for it again. And, he's all about helping people that are deserving of an opportunity. So that's why he brought it back out.
And this organization, it's not just like a little rec league. This is actually recognized by
this
organization, right?
Yeah. Like this is the real deal. Like my boss, he does things on both the men and the women's side, but we actually have Cynthia Cooper as
nice
on our staff. So
cool.
To get recognition and have someone of that stature pretty much on staff for this league, like obviously this sets us apart from a lot of
Gotcha. Oh, she froze. She's coming back.
Yeah, well,
come back. Okay, I think I like this, and so while we get her, hopefully she'll come back. Fati, you're frozen.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing. Like a lot of the girls that played in the X versus X play for the WUBA, and you can see all their stats, all their highlights, everything. So it was really, really cool what they did for these ladies to help them to take their career to the next level. So many of these ladies, like Faatimah, got to go play for different countries based upon like what they did in the WUBA. So and I know that they're planning to. Are you back with us?
I see movement.
Hold on one second. I think I need
to. We're gonna build it up a little more.
Wi-Fi. My router just died. Give me 1 second.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna build it up. You're good. So I want to put it out there, ladies, listening to this. Ladies, you heard Fati. You can make your professional dream come true. If you feel like you can hoop, you feel like you're in college right now, you're on your way up, and you feel like you want to take a chance, hit me up. I'll get you Fati's info. You never freaking know, right? And we're gonna get into it in just a minute. Fati was a player as well, which hopefully we'll get to hear straight from her. Rookie of the year, which I'll let her talk about as well. But the only thing I keep going back to, Doc, is she was in a shelter. Look at her now. This is too freaking cool. Like this is like a movie right here. This is something they would, a story that you would see in a Hollywood movie, like the girl who's on the streets,
Definitely.
It's insane.
And if you see her in person and interact with her, like that's the furthest from your, like you would never think, like the way that she carries herself or something. It almost seems like she came from like a privileged family or something. Like she just carries herself so strong, so confident. So that's amazing.
Yeah, when I was talking to her this week, getting to know her, it's like the same thing. Like I would never have got that vibe, which is great because that means, she's been through it. She, like I said, I can't say this enough. She carries it over to her kids. She carries it over to the ladies of the WUBA or whatever it is, and she can give them hope and she can give them, the encouragement that they need because she was determined to get out of the situation she was in. And like we said, a door opened up for her and she took advantage of it. And other women out there in the world and men, you guys can do this as well. You take that chance. You never know, right?
Yeah, and that's how you know, like, that it's never what happens to you, it's what you do about it and how you react to it and how much gratitude you have for the little things. And it's a mindset. Anything that happens is the next day, it's in the past and you have a new day to make new choices and a new life. And when you're a child and you're put in a situation or an adult and you're in a situation where you're kind of like, you feel helpless or you've kind of like lost hope, that's when you got to go back and start counting your blessings for the simple things, for your life, for the fact that you have, a place to lay your head and those kinds of things, because there's always somebody that has it worse than you. Always.
Absolutely. I tell my kids that all the time. Fati, do we got you back?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Awesome-tastic. All right. So we were talking about the WUBA. You're talking about that it is an official organization under Cynthia Cooper. That's amazing. All right. But we want to talk about you. Okay. You've talked about the organization. Now we would like to talk about you, the player. Okay. You've played in the WUBA. Not only that, you got Rookie of the Year. So don't be humble about it. Let us know, what was that Rookie of the Year? Rookie of the Year. The year that you won the Rookie of the Year. What was that like?
Honestly, it was a really good feeling. Like, I know when I came back from Greece, it was kind of it really shot my confidence. And no one really knew this, but for like 4 or 5 months, like after I was like super depressed, trying to find my purpose again. And, it took a lot of rebuilding and just letting go in order for me to move forward. So like after I was able to do that, like I went to the UK, spent some time with my significant other. Then I went back to Canada. And then, by the time I was ready to come back for season, I just felt re-energized and ready to go. And my focus was there. And, while running the league, I was off for like 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. It's like my training would go in the morning. Like I would train with my guy, Xavier. He's this really amazing sports performance coach. He's actually worked with Julian Newman and various other players. But I worked with him every day. After I would go see my guy, Eli, and he would run me into the ground. It was like no mercy. So I'd like go to my next workout, like exhausted, pulling it together to get through the current workout that I'm in. But obviously it all paid off. Like it helped me again, build up this level of resilience and, believe that anything is possible. Like I feel good. Like this was probably the best I felt playing basketball, and people started looking at me differently. Like I felt more like a confident player. I was able to get things done and like be a leader.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Yeah, people can see that. Like Doc always talks about the mental game. If you like you said, you were hurting. You came back from Greece. You didn't know what you were doing. You were lost. We've all been there. I was there, not even. I'm still there, kind of. I just lost my last job that I had, and I'm just job searching. I haven't done it in a long time, and I'm just like, oh my god, something's gonna come, right? And that when you get that one little spark, you said you got the two guys that were training you and helping you out, Sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes that physical kick in the butt. Like you never know. How long did you play and what teams did you play for?
Where? When I was
UVA, WUVA.
Oh, I played for the East Bay Splash this season.
Okay, and that was this past year?
And this was this past year.
Whereabouts is that if people wanted to eventually go and go see them?
Yeah, so this season or the season coming up, we're going to have this Super National League, and I'm actually expanding out to Toronto and SoCal area. Nice. So I'm looking for people to purchase teams over in the SoCal area because right now we have 4 teams in NorCal, and I want to kind of create that SoCal NorCal rivalry because with basketball without competition, so it just makes it that much better. So I'm working on having 2 locations. So there'll be a location down in SoCal, and then obviously the location that we were using in NorCal. I can't say because of COVID, but it was really yes.
That's no, NorCal is even pickier than we are right now. It's crazy because like Stanford and the Sharks and they weren't even, they're not even allowed to go back to their arenas until the 13th. Like we just barely.
Remember,
it's insane.
When it happened, or when the statewide lockdown happened, they had to go to Vegas to play.
Yeah, in Arizona too, I think for the Sharks.
Yes. Yeah. They shut it down. We shut it down because I'm like, they fined.
That's correct.
They were fining people like $5,000.
Yeah, they threatened to do that down here, but they're kind of iffy about
that.
If you do come down for whatever reason, you better hit us up because we want to say what's up and you've got a bite or something.
I'm gonna be down there when I get back. As soon as this season's over, I got to touch down in Toronto, but I'll be back.
All right.
I'll be going, between NorCal and SoCal.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. You also made, not only did you get Rookie of the Year, but you also were on the all first team, I believe it was once or twice, correct? All right. Awesome. And you play guard? Play guard, right?
Yes. I'm a guard.
Of course, Allen Iverson. Duh, Ricky. Come on now. That's awesome.
I'm still hoping I make like 5'9", 5'10", but I'm almost 30.
Victory in souls, girl. Victory in souls.
I'm thinking about it.
They're amazing. Like amazing. They help you jump higher. Like I don't work for them. I don't get anything for them, but I will be their biggest supporter. Like I love them.
I need them. Some of the players in the league, I'll for sure wear them if they give me a couple extra inches.
There you go.
I think I'm like 5'11" with those on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. Oh my God. Okay, so what was the transition like from player Faatimah to management Faatimah? You run the 4 teams in the West now, and what teams are you running?
So pretty much I'm managing all of them. I was, trying to schedule practices for people, get gym times, obviously with it being as complicated as it was. I had to do everything my first year, but I learned so much from it because obviously, if I didn't know how to do something, I taught myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it just helped me to, make who I am more multidimensional, which is really awesome. So even though I had so much to do this year behind the scenes, I benefit from it a lot because
sorry. Go on.
I was just like, oh my God, I think my bedtime's kicking in, but it's okay.
All right, we're gonna kick off in probably about 15 minutes, I promise.
Yeah.
15 or 20, I promise. That's okay. Yeah. All right. So we want to get Fati to sleep. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump off of this. What we usually do, we jump into a little patch of just fun, random, out of the blue questions that we do every single show. Doc knows which ones I'm talking about. Maybe I'll do one and she'll grab another one. I'll start with one. You said Allen Iverson was your dude. My question is, is he the one that you idolized? That was my first question. And who would your dream opponent be, one-on-one, if you were to play them like tomorrow, live or deceased?
Man or woman?
Yeah, either or, doesn't matter.
During high school, I got to see 2 college teams play. Cal Bears and Tennessee Bulls. And on Tennessee, Pat Summitt's team, there was a 5'2" guard named Shannon Bobbitt. Okay. And she's 5'2". And I'm watching her, and there's no one really that size in college. It's very hard for little people to make it. And growing up, I was always told, you're undersized, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm gonna keep working, it don't matter.
Yeah.
But like, she really, helped me believe in myself. I loved her crossover. Yes. She was shifty. It was, I mean, I got to see them play when they came in, played Stanford. It was amazing. So like, I would love to play against her. I know she's, out in New York doing some stuff with kids and stuff like that, mentorship type of thing. So it's good to see she's still a part of the game, but that's probably the number one person I'd probably want to play.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is so cool. I mean, there's always Spud Webb and those kind of guys, there's
Muggsy.
I was just Muggsy.
I met him. He came to Toronto. Yes. Nice. I met him in Toronto.
He was probably real cool.
He's like my high school was like, you were in the NBA.
That's guy. Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I was just talking to, it made me think when you were talking about like her crossover and stuff. I was just talking to Bone Collector the other day, and he was telling me on his team ankle breaker, he has this guy Mosquito, right? Like just the name Mosquito, like that's just amazing already. Like he's super short. I don't remember how tall he is. I think he's like 5'2" or 5'4" or something like that. Like he's short. And he's like, nobody can get the ball from him because he's so low to the ground. Like it's just crazy.
Over and no one wants to play defense for that long anyway. You got to be in that.
I can't come back up from that.
Go. Bone Collector is nice though. I see his highlights online all the time.
Yes,
he's so smooth. He's so smooth.
Yeah, he's training me right now, and I'm just like. He's doing everything in
crossover when I get back.
I'm trying. Like I'm trying to. This COVID thing really, really messed me up, and then a surgery that I had to have really messed me up. So I'm trying to get back and better. Yeah. So yeah, but no, he's super fast. Like showing me something in slow motion for him that looks like normal speed, and then he does it at his speed, and I'm like, can you is that real? Is that real?
That's so funny.
Those fast twitch muscles, I'm telling you.
I know. Why didn't I get those? Why didn't I get those? Like I got all the wrong genetics. Like, what the heck?
Oh my God.
I can't. Okay. Another random out of the blue question. Now I'm blabbling. You get a blank check. You can legally answer this. I know you're playing for an official team, so if you can't answer this, just tell me, pass or I plead fifth. Can you get a blank check to play anywhere, WNBA, anywhere overseas? Where is it and why?
Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Oh man,
Warriors.
My friend is on their coaching staff. She's like the first woman on their coaching staff, actually.
So cool.
But if blank check. I think I want to say, what is it? France. The club is called Lyon.
Okay.
There's this really amazing basketball player. She plays for the French national team, and I think she's played in the WNBA. I just can't remember what team. I think her name is like Marine something. She's nice.
Okay. So
He's nice. I'd love to play for that type of team.
Which is perfect. You said you want to end your career in France anyway. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's out there. Hint, hint.
That's like top division though. Like,
hey. So what? Right? Right. You're the one that says you want to grind and keep pushing, you know. Let's do it. Okay, couple more silly ones. You mentioned Love and Basketball earlier, so if that's your movie, that's your movie. Our dude George usually asks this question, so I'm gonna steal it from him. What is your favorite basketball movie and why?
He Got Game. Oh my God.
It's a good movie.
He Got Game.
Why?
Denzel.
Is that why? Denzel? Is that all you're gonna say? Denzel?
I love Denzel. Is a hell of an actor, but Ray Allen, I'm just like, I love that movie. It was real basketball. You know, like when you're watching basketball movies, sometimes it's like they got to cut here. Like the basketball scenes were real. It was beautiful. It was poetry in motion, like they say.
Okay. Well, with that said, you mentioned basketball movies being cut and edited. Space Jam 2 is coming out. We actually know a couple people that are in that movie, and we're going to be interviewing one of them in a couple weeks. But how do you feel about Space Jam 2 coming out? Negative or positive? It's okay. I won't tell her.
No, you know, like when they make a remake of a movie, or not a remake, but obviously a sequel, it's a lot to Michael Jordan as a GOAT. Like it's a lot to, follow up. Obviously, LeBron is a great player as well, but it's really awesome that you guys have some of the girls out there, in this, with the opportunity. I think I would follow some of them, and I think that's amazing that, they're able to do this. So I don't have any negative feedback. I'm just, I'm happy for them to have this opportunity and, for the movie to have more female representation.
Absolutely. There's supposed to be a lot. Yeah. Do you feel, you mentioned LeBron, you mentioned Michael, the GOAT, and, the future GOAT. Do you feel that this movie's too late? Should they have done it with Kobe like 10 years ago, give or take or so? Or do you think this is still okay? You think LeBron will still slay it?
I think.
did she really say LeBron was a future GOAT? I don't remember her saying that.
I said that.
Yeah, because
that.
It's a little suspect.
I said that.
I like to say everything happens for a reason, and even though if they would have done this 10 years ago with Kobe, I think regardless if they did it or not, Kobe still left a bigger impact or a bigger legacy behind with him being in this movie or not. So, like I said, I'm huge on, not what this person, did, how much they scored. I'm more on, how they impacted the people around them in a positive way. So
love it.
Yeah.
Love that answer. All right. We have about give or take 10 minutes. One more silly question. This one makes no sense, and I don't know why. Oh, we lost this. You don't want to do it. I'm just kidding. All right. This is one that makes absolutely no sense because of the way we made it. And then after we're like, oh my God, that's stupid, but we're going to keep it anyway. We call it the Mount Rushmore of ballers. It's supposed to be 4, but we did 5 because basketball 5. What are your top 5 ballers? NBA, WNBA? You could do either or you could do both. Alive, deceased, any era, any position.
Obviously, you got to throw Kobe on there.
Okay.
I love Steph.
Okay, Steph.
Candace Parker. Sue Bird.
That one hurt. Sorry, Candace just left us.
You said what?
Candace just left us a couple days ago, so we're still hurting.
I know. Going back to the hometown. Her Mecca.
I'll give her that. I'll give her that. She can. That's cool. That's cool. I wasn't as sad when I heard she was going because it was home. So, okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
All right, we're at 3. We're at 3. Go ahead.
Steph, Sue, Candace, and
how about a big for guys?
Yeah, I need a big. Shaq in his prime.
Okay.
There you go.
Prime. Okay. Okay. At least she
You're so smart.
emphasized.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
knew she was gonna get
I'm
it.
just like, I remember when he was playing for the Cavs and he'd fall over and then LeBron had to go back and pick him up.
Celtics and the Suns. Yes. So
Finally, I
look,
knew you were gonna get it.
she's saying finally because we always get people that will just say Shaq. And then we go to them and we go, which Shaq? Doc will jump in with which Shaq. And they're like, what are you talking about, which Shaq?
Yeah.
Right? Are we talking Orlando or Lakers? Or are you just talking about in that era in general?
Just that area in general. But I think like more so, I like seeing people outside of like a basketball setting. And I watched, the videos on his kids, and I see how involved he is in their lives. And I, outside of just being a basketball player, I think he's a wonderful person. Awesome. Like he's authentically himself and everyone loves him for it.
He's very blunt, very funny. And he's actually, I'm going to throw this out here. I'm a big wrestling fan. He's actually going to be at an AEW wrestling event in the ring against the son of the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. It's going to be very interesting. That's all I'm putting out there. So if you keep following me on Insta, you'll hear about it. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I have to.
It's going to be
I gotta tune in.
Right? He went against the Big Show one time too. That was freaking nuts. So, anywho,
I love that guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah, but he's so blunt. And I love that. I love anybody who's straight up and doesn't sugarcoat crap. Because if you can't handle it, don't ask me. Or don't come at me with stuff. But you can be nice and friendly. So it's all good. As for questions, I'm out. We're almost to our time. Doc, do you have any other questions besides your final question left over?
Nope. I'm ready to let her get to sleep because those eyelids are looking heavy.
Get her food, go night-night. All right. So this is the part where we usually have a bunch of people. You lucked out. You only got 2, so this should go quick. Doc, I'm going to actually let you go first this day because I still feel bad about last week. I stole yours last week. So I'm going to let you go first this time.
Okay. I didn't even remember that. It's not even a big deal. No, I really don't even have a question. I just want to say thank you for being here and thank you for the person that you are, being so resilient and being so positive and being such a great role model to the kids, to everybody around you, for having such great energy. You are really somebody to look up to, and I'm glad that we were able to cross paths and meet, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. And you're amazing. That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much. Like, seriously. I don't really get to do this stuff a lot. And for you guys to just have me in mind and for, Doc to reach out and want me to be on this, I just want to say thank you. Because obviously you guys can interview whoever you'd like, but you decided to, get to learn a little bit more about me and what I'm doing. So I'm very blessed and very honored to be doing this with you guys.
And
and that's why you were chosen.
She is who she is. Exactly.
For that answer right there.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's all about the vibe. You could be the biggest superstar out there. If you're a jerk on the street, people aren't going to respect you. You are total opposite of that, Fati. You are friendly. You have a nice smile. You have a great personality. You love kids, but you still kill it on the court. So keep that up. Don't change any of that because we got to get you to that French team that you want to play for. Okay. Last, but I do have an actual question. What advice would you give to your young teenage? Were you a teenager when you were in the shelter, or you were a little younger?
No, I was like 11 till 14.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll say 10-year-old self. Your 10, 11 what advice would you give to yourself now, knowing what you know?
That it's okay to be you. Not everyone is going to like who you are, but the right people will gravitate to you. Yeah.
I love
just
that.
Live in your truth and try to be the most authentic version of you.
Live your dream and be the wow. I love that. I'm a huge quote person, and I'm going to know that. I absolutely freaking love
It's beautiful.
That was beautiful. That was awesome. You are awesome. I mean, like I said, we talked during the week, but getting to really get in depth with you and see your emotions and see your reactions, it makes a huge difference. So thank you so much for letting us jump into your bedtime here. I still feel bad about that. We'll get you to sleep, I promise. But thank you so much just for taking time for us to get your word out there. Because like I said, it's going to affect, that young female baller that's up and coming right now, struggling on the streets, or even a young gentleman, that's struggling. And not even just basketball, life in general, like I said, I'm struggling right now myself. I'm taking your advice. You never know who's listening. You never know how you're going to change a life. And Fati, what you talked about today is most definitely going to change a life. So thank you so much for that.
Real quick, is there anything that you wanted to announce?
Yes, let's get it out there.
Regarding the WUBA or anything like that?
Yes. After this episode is up, or after we're finished here, the link to get news and updates leading up to tryouts will be on the WBACali.com website. So if you're interested in playing, hit up the website, sign up, and I'll be able to give you guys information leading up to the months of when season starts.
All right. Well, you heard it firsthand, ladies. And I got some baller friends myself, so I will definitely be sending them your way. So you heard it firsthand here. So again, thank you so much, Faatimah. One more last time. That's right. Doc's ready. Doc's going. Faatimah Amen Ra-a, the Neffretiti of the Nile. Now you know why we called her that. And thank you so much for joining us. Episode 35 of Dubl Drbl, All Sports Media Team. Again, this will be on YouTube later today at 3:00. So make sure you check that out. And coming next week on the 13th, we got a VBL legend in Baby V, Victoria Mazzeo. I'm really excited for that one. So one last time, Fati, thank you for joining us. Thank you for gracing us and teaching us so many cool things, both about basketball and about your awesome life. Now go get some sleep, please.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day. And I'm going to talk to you guys soon.
You too.
Sounds good. Have a great one.
All right.